I would like to talk about the line handling today, because a lot of people have got an issue with that. And a lot of people are actually scared to use the long line because they either don't know how to use it, or they try to use it and it doesn't feel really comfortable, and hence the fact they just decide not to use it. But the long line is a very nice tool to put management in place for your dog. So what that means is that if your dog doesn't have a reliable recall, or your dog may be sensitive or reactive in certain situations, it is an excellent tool to keep your dog safe. You know, from getting into trouble, from running off and running across the road, from running off and chasing whatever. You know, if your dog likes to hunt, you know, and you don't want them chasing wildlife, that is just another way of stopping them. Okay, but a lot of dogs, a lot of people struggle with the line handling. So I want to show you how I do it. There isn't really one right way of doing it, but I want to show you how I do it and what I find is how it works the best. Oh. The first thing that I want to say, I usually use the grippy lines. We've got little rubber through them, because if it is raining, and in Scotland it rains a lot, the line gets wet, my dogs sometimes go into the water and the line gets wet, it doesn't really collect the water and it doesn't get too slidey, it doesn't slide through my fingers. So if I have got a really large powerful dog, I have more chances of actually holding onto the dog and not letting them go. So with the length of the line, my own preference for walking and keeping the dog safe is 5 meters. Some people use 10 meters, but I find that for a lot of people 10 meters is a little bit too much of a line, and it's so much of a line to get tangled in. I will show you what I do with the line and how I gather it to begin with. So things that we don't do, we don't wrap it around our fingers, because this is how the fingers get broken. So we don't do that. Now, with really powerful dogs, with really strong dogs, what I do is put the loop, my wrist into the loop, and then I clamp it like so. The dog will not be able to get away. You've got the full control. The dog is really attached to you. And what happens from there, it really depends. Now, my own preference, I sometimes do it in a butterfly or figure eight type of reel. Here we go. So this is what it looks like. And the dog would be attached at the front. I'll see if I can actually show you attached in here. So the dog would be attached like so. And if I need to allow the dog to have more line, all I need to do is just drop one loop. And if I want to gather the line because the line is too close to the ground, all I need to do is just put that other bit of the loop in. Okay. The other way of reeling the line would be that you put the flat end around your finger or around your thumb, and you reel it around your elbow, your hand flat, around your elbow. So we've got very nice flat reel. Notice how I'm untangling the line at the same time as I am looping it. I like my line being nice and flat, but that's probably perfectionist in me. Yours might not look like this, but as long as it is comfortable for you, that is all that matters. It doesn't have to be perfectly looped. As long as you're comfortable handling your dog in that way, that is all that matters. The line shouldn't be too tight and the line shouldn't be too slack. That is a communication tool with your dog, and it is important that we communicate effectively. In order to stop your dog or slow your dog down on a line, with the grippy lines, what I really like, if the dog pulls in, I usually leave about a meter and a half to the end, and I start putting my thumb on a line, just gently, to start communicating to the dog that you're going a little bit too fast. And at the same time, I usually say something to my dog to let them know that they're coming to the end of the line, that they're just going a little bit too fast and a little bit too far. So I think that is important, that, you know, that it doesn't, flies are trying to attack me here, you know, that it isn't too too sharp of a jerk for the dog, because they will, you know, they don't quite know how far that line is in the beginning until they learn how far they are supposed to stay away from you, or how close they're supposed to stay with you. So we don't really want to have that sudden jerk at the end of it, because that's not the aim of it. We kind of want to maintain the same kind of nice slackness along the way. At the same time, we don't really want to, when you're holding on to the line, we don't really want the line being dropped on the ground too much, because you might get tangled in it, the dog might get tangled in it, and if you've got someone else's dog approaching, or you're walking with someone, that could wrap around someone's legs and really injure them. So what happens if the dog would lunge out to the end of the line? Okay, we don't like the dog kites, as we call them. Okay, we don't want them at the very end of the line. Your dog shouldn't really get there, but sometimes that will happen. Okay, so what we do then, one thing, I would walk into the dog and I will show you what that looks like, because if the dog gets to the end of the line, I don't really want my dog to go any further. Okay, for whatever reason they got to the end of that line. And oh, look at me showing you how to handle the line and get entangled. So what I do then, say my dog is at the end of the line, I will keep the line still tense at that moment in time and walk towards the dog with, let's hope I'll not kill myself on these logs, walk towards the dog as I'm gathering the line, because what you don't want to happen is, you don't want to just keep following the dog with that real tension on the line, because at the end of the day, we don't want them learning that there is tension on the line and we keep moving forward. Okay, so I walk into the dog and shorten the line at that moment in time. What we do from there, it really depends on the dog. So if the dog disengages from whatever the dog was interested in, I can slacken the line again, wait for the dog to engage with me, and then we carry on walking. Steady. Good man. Thank you, that was good. You okay? Steady. Nice. Bear, bear. Good boy, we're just gonna go backwards. We're not trailing today. Good man. Keep going, kids.